there is a couple, they might have even been married, and then the wife is focused so much on the work and on her work, and the husband is focused so much on his work, they become just roommates. They are not married couple anymore. They just come, spend time together, leave. That's it. There is no quality
Not
time.
intentional time
Yeah,
together.
and
They're
not
just in
intentional.
the same house.
Yeah. Not a single couple in this entire world can say we've never had any issues. We are all built differently, wired differently. We all have different reasoning. We are two different individuals, different worlds coming together.
They talk about couples that had an amazing marriage. They were best friends. They enjoyed each other. They loved each other. But when that spirituality part was not in, they felt something huge was missing.
Yeah. If it comes to a point where you feel like you don't love me anymore and you don't want to be with me anymore, I would prefer you to tell me openly and honestly. I don't want you to keep quiet about it.
Today we're going to talk about healthy relationships. But what are healthy relationships anyways? How can we know what a healthy relationship is? Healthy can mean so many different things to different people. But from our perspective and our experience, we found some 6 main signs that can help us identify a healthy relationship. So let's get started.
The first point, they will have God as their priority. It is a God-centered relationship. What do we mean by that? What do you mean by that?
So the spiritual foundation, because we're all created as physical, emotional, spiritual beings. If our spirituality is not connected, there will be a huge link that will be missing. And even Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, they talk about couples that had an amazing marriage. They were best friends. They enjoyed each other. They loved each other. But when that spirituality part was not in, they felt something huge was missing.
Yeah.
So God being the center and that uniting our mission and our purpose and grounding us to something bigger than ourselves, giving us strength to go through life, faith and a purpose, that is huge. And so if we don't have that and God is not the center and the priority, many times there will be an emptiness in the marriage, in the relationship.
Yeah. The famous saying goes that a couple that pray together stay together,
And definitely we're talking from a Christian perspective, all the principles. And so we highly believe in Bible counsel and we want it for ourselves. So this is things we've seen, and God is the one that originated marriage. So he's the creator of this institution. So without him, how can we live out the full potential of our purpose? So,
and also many times it is God who helps us to also work on the different things that we go through. We both, while we were raised in a Christian family. We always had family worship. We had devotions every evening at least. And that is something that Debbie and I we had in common, and we spoke about those things even before we got married, that we will have worship in our family every day. And it is something very important for us. We pray, we try to read something that is spiritually uplifting, that is helpful for a good Christian family. And we definitely, one of the biggest things that we do is pray for each other individually, and then as a couple we pray together, because without God it cannot be together. Even if it can be together, it won't be of a quality relationship. There is very, very, very few that survives a good marriage.
and because everything is so united, when you connect emotionally heart to heart, that's beautiful. But to connect heart to heart, if you have a foundation that also you connect spiritually, it helps even better. And then physically as well. So some people believe, spirituality is something very personal. Each one can do their own thing. But if you unite it, it enhances the relationship. And it brings, as you were saying, extra help and power and wisdom to the relationship to deal with differences. So it's truly very nourishing. For me, I feel it even nourishes the attraction, because as you hear each other, as you pray together, as you open your heart, it makes you very vulnerable to your deepest core, and that helps to unite as well. So it's just very romantic as well when you can both together connect with God, the author of love and romance. So, I mean, what better than that?
Yeah, it can't get better than that, for sure. It cannot get better than that. And also, certain things we can pray. I don't know how many of you have prayers being answered, but we have seen a lot of prayers being answered, whether in our marriage itself or with other things, other projects that we have. We present it to God and God answers prayers. If you haven't tried, if you haven't prayed, if you haven't truly asked God for certain things that you would like to see in your marriage, ask in faith. You will see beautiful outcome coming out of it.
Amen.
And some people might not see an expected outcome come out of it, but they might find something beautiful that is helpful for their marriage. So give it a shot, give it a try. Pray every day for maybe 7 days and see what happens. God is always answering prayers. It's just that sometimes we have either ridiculous outcome from it, or we expect a certain way for an outcome, but God has something even better. If it doesn't come out the way we expect it, He will bring it out even more beautifully. So give it a shot.
And even we've talked sometimes with couples that are already married, and maybe one believes in God and one doesn't really want spirituality. One good habit that it's very much linked to God that you can also implement in your life without saying specifically we are having worship is practicing gratitude together. Gratitude about life, gratitude about each other. And that is a direct link to being grateful to the gifts we receive from God Himself, because without Him we wouldn't be alive, we wouldn't any good thing, it's an extra added blessing in our life. So yes, gratitude, prayer together, write down your prayers, see God doing miracles and adding more and more blessings. So reading things together that are inspiring and
Absolutely.
spiritually uplifting, it's really amazing. It creates some of the best conversations and just fuels the relationship.
Absolutely. If you have the mindset of reading novels and all of that, just try this. Supplement it with something that you actually see beneficial for your family, for you as a couple. It is a game changer. It will help you to change the perspective of how you live, because many times we tend to lean towards more something that is exciting, something that is suspense and fairy tale and all of that. It is great, but it is not reality. It is not going to feed in your marriage or in your relationship.
soul.
Yeah, it's not going, your mind, your heart is not going to be filled when you read those things. I'm not saying don't read it, but try to give spiritually uplifting books a chance that you can read together as a couple. Each take a paragraph and read. You don't have to read a whole book in one shot. Just take some bite-sized materials to read and then just meditate on it. Share with each other what you understood from the passage that you read, what can be changed in your family, or what you see is common or similar in what is written. It is a game changer. Give it a shot and you will not regret.
And couple suggestions. I mean, it can be different spiritually uplifting devotional books that you start with. Maybe you don't start with the Bible directly, but you can. But if not, we recommend 2 books that are really good. Is Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts. You can read that before you get married or after you get married. And Things I Wish I Knew Before I Got Married by Gary Chapman. And the other one is by Les and Leslie Parrott. So both of those books have very dynamic way of sharing practical things, discussing together as a couple. So that can be, together with gratitudes, a little practice to ground you in that vulnerability and soul connection. And as you keep growing in that, God will keep leading you as well.
Amen. So we will move to the next point. What is the next point? Working on issues that you face with each other and growing from it. Not a single couple in this entire world can say we've never had any issues. We are all built differently, wired differently. We all have different reasoning. We are two different individuals, different worlds coming together, and we have to be together. And there is going to be differences. There is going to be struggles. One wants to do one thing in a way, and the other wants to do that in a different way. You might want to watch our previous episode on expectations. You can see what Debbie was thinking and what I was thinking, but our expectations were very different. But that is very common in marriage. That is very common in relationship. Even if you have housemates, think about it. Housemates or roommates, or even if you're in a hostel, boarding school, wherever, you will have issues with other people because it's two different people coming together, and two different minds, two different personalities, two different characters coming together. There is going to be a struggle, but it doesn't have to be a struggle because you are investing time in growing in it. Debbie and I had differences. We still have differences, of course, but initially we had few differences, some critical ones, and we had to work through those things. If we don't work through those things, we don't have to be together. But if we have to be together, if we love each other so
want
much,
to be together.
yeah, if we want to be together and we love each other so much, then there is that one key aspect, and that is to grow in it. We are willing to work on that issue, because you can only hide it under the rug so much. After that, it's going to come out and burst.
And I know for me, for example, one of my issues was communicating openly my feelings and expressing. I had a lot of blockages and fears and many things. So I was willing to work, but we needed to get counseling, mentorship, tools, and just be patient with each other and grow out of those patterns that were not healthy, were toxic long term for the relationship. So will we have issues? Yes, we will.
Absolutely.
Are we willing to work on them? And are we putting effort and seeing progress? That's the game changer in relationships. So for a healthy relationship, and healthy meaning that something healthy grows, something healthy, you see it and it's like more thriving. It's not collapsing and falling apart. So health means growth and constant maturity in different ways.
Yeah, think of it like a seed that is planted under the ground, right? It's not just open where the it can sprout up directly and it can grow. It has to grow through the different blockages in the dirt, in the soil, and then it comes out and then it grows. It is going to have a lot of challenges, but the challenges helps it to grow even more stronger. How are the roots so strong? Because it has grown through the blockages, hindrances, and have made a solid foundation for itself. And that's how our life is as well. Whether you are an individual or whether you are a couple, you will have to go through that growth phase. And without challenges, you won't be able to grow. In fact, growing up, I always imagined that I will not have any issues with my wife. We will always talk about it and we'll be done. There won't be any issues because we love each other. Oh boy, was I wrong. Because it's two different people, and yeah, there is a struggle, and we are in a sinful world. We struggle for what is right, and I always think I'm right and she always thinks she's right. We all have the same mindset, right? But there is a point where we have to have that humility and come to a point like, maybe she is right and I am wrong. Maybe this is not a reasonable way to think. So when the other person is your gauge to show when there is certain things that needs to be worked on, and you grow from it. So when we were reading Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts, I learned that what I'm sharing right now. Problems and issues and differences are there to make me stronger. If there is no issues at all, then that's a big issue. We are not growing, we are just stuck in one place. But when there are issues, how you deal with it makes a huge difference. If you deal the issues with humility and with growth in mindset, you are going to grow, you're going to become mature. But if there is no issues, there is no growth. If there is no growth mindset, it might look like it's smoother, but you're
Issues,
not growing anywhere.
yeah, I believe that issues without a growth mindset can destroy the relationship, actually. But yeah, so the third point is good communication skills, which goes very much along with willingness to work, because you have to communicate, you have to be willing to listen to what the other is trying to say, and good communication is the mother of everything and is the one we lack the most because we have different ways of communicating. Maybe we grew up seeing one way of communication and learning one way of communication, and the other person has a different style, and we assume a lot, and we yeah, have basically roadblocks that hinder us from understanding each other. So we need to go a little deeper and relearn new ways and unlearn certain things as well, so that we can be open and not be like, oh, this is the way, and if you don't fit in with mine, then it's not right. So communication.
Communication, absolutely. And different people communicate different ways as well. Men has a way of communication and women have a different way of communication. And that is again going back to point number 2, growth mindset, right? We have to understand some things she might be saying and it has makes no sense for me, and something I might be saying and she will be like, you don't make any sense. But again, growth mindset, we are willing to understand each other's communication. We are hoping that one point we will come to a point where we will be able to understand each other, not having to explain too much, but it is still a growth factor.
Now we have something exciting that we want to share. Maybe you're like, what is the strength in my relationship? How is the quality of my relationship like? How can I gauge or get an idea where I'm at or what things maybe I need to grow?
Or you might not even know how your relationship is growing, and you are trying to figure it out and you don't know how to figure it out. We have a beautiful free resource for you. It is a 3-minute relationship strength quiz. You can find it on our website. It's free for everyone. You can just go put our website. We'll put it here right here. It's called naturalhealingproject.com, and then you just scroll down. You will be able to find, it says relationship strength quiz. It is for anyone that is committed, single, or in relationship. Feel free to go and check it out and do the quiz.
You will get a percentage of the strength of your relationship with the answers you give and some tips, advice, and suggestions to move forward in strengthening even more.
Point number 4 is honesty and transparency. So point number 1 is having God as our priority. Point number 2 is working through the issues and becoming a better person. Point number 3 is good communication skills. Now, your point number 4 is honesty and transparency. One of the things that Debbie originally told me, this is in the beginning, very beginning of our relationship, is Martin, if it comes to a point where, this is of course before marriage, if it comes to a point where you feel like you don't love me anymore and you don't want to be with me anymore, I would prefer you to tell me openly and honestly. I don't want you to keep quiet about it. I felt so bad about it. Like, why would you say such a thing? Like, why are you expecting something negative is going to happen? But then later on, as she shared her experiences from her past and all of that, it made sense. But we all deserve to have honest conversations. We all deserve honesty and transparency. But are we willing to give that same thing? Are we willing to be open, be very transparent, that we are very brutally honest, very clear, but at the same time sharing it with love.
And many people have fears of being honest and transparent because this someone might not like it, or how will they take it, or if they know this, how it's going to be, and but I truly believe, and this is one of my core values that is truly a non-negotiable. If you don't have honesty and transparency, that doesn't work for me, because for me that goes above everything else. Even if it hurts, only with honesty and transparency I can build trust in you. If that's not there, I won't be able, you're just going to break my trust. And it happened kind of repeatedly, being one of my core values, and I blindly kind of used to trust people. If they say this, I believe them, and they're not going to do any harm. And then I was kind of a blind truster, but and they had to prove me wrong, and many times it was proved wrong, that there was not honesty and transparency, and that hurt me a lot because I was truly being honest, transparent, and I expected the same. So for me, that is a huge one, and I believe that when things are hidden, are gray, are like under, yes, there is a time where we need to speak, but we cannot hold on to things too long either. To wait for the perfect time, because sometimes, and this is one of our the clients I work with, the interest person that wanted to build a friendship with her was like, oh, talking about his life and everything, and she's like, why haven't you been married yet? And he was a little older, and he was like, well, because I just don't have time, and I've put a lot of I've been a workaholic, so that has led me to be single. And so she thought that. Later on, she finds through someone else that he has been married and he's divorced. And she confronted him with it, and he was like, well, I didn't want to tell you that right away. I planned to say it to you, but later. But when someone asks,
Directly.
that is lying. That's lying. So some things, yes, we can wait for the right time. But if when we are confronted, there is no transparency, or even if maybe you're fearful and you say something else, come and correct it. Don't let things be dishonesty and gray zones, because that's a very unhealthy relationship. So if you want an unhealthy relationship, keep it gray, keep it dishonest. But if you want a healthy one, that is a must. A must.
Absolutely. It's kind of like shocking to see when someone openly asks something and then they are trying to hide it. That's a huge red flag. You need to run as far away as possible from those type of people, because if they are not honest in the relationship, they're not going to be honest unless they work on it. But you cannot be waiting for them to work on it. How long are you going to be waiting for it? Anyway, the next point, fifth point, is quality time with each other. Oh, that we cannot emphasize enough. Quality time with each other. In this busy world, there is so much happening. There are so many things that is keeping us occupied. Social media, work, friendship, news, especially with war going on everywhere, rioting going on everywhere. There are so many things that is keeping us busy. And do we prioritize our relationship first? Do we have enough time to focus on the relationship, or is the time consuming work taking it away, or is the other friendships taking it away, or social media, is it draining you off of the quality time? You need to think and evaluate on those things, because quality time is very important. That is the set for your foundation of your relationship, of your marriage, because you might have seen it in a lot of movies. There is a couple, they might have even been married, and then the wife is focused so much on the work and on her work, and the husband is focused so much on his work, they become just roommates. They are not married couple anymore. They just come, spend time together, leave. That's it. There is no quality
Not
time.
intentional time
Yeah,
together.
and
They're
not
just in
intentional.
the same house.
Yeah.
Maybe eating or doing chores and
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
even while eating, they might be on their phones. This is not from the movie. This is from real life. They while eating, people are on their phones, constantly scrolling through or responding to emails or checking out funny cat, dog videos, whatever it might be. It's all draining you of the quality time that you could spend with each other. Quality time.
Yeah, very, very important. At the beginning, if you miss it, it might not feel so bad, like, oh, well, we don't have time. But as time progresses, it will distance you from each other quite a bit. And there was an interesting exercise done for couples that, they were saying, give a step apart, like farther from each other with each of these things. When was the last time you ate or have you eaten together in this last 24 hours? And they stepped back. And then, have you been for a date in this past week? And they went apart. So different questions, and they were like in one side completely opposite to each other in the room at the end of the questions.
Wow.
And then it was showing, it was like a visual illustration of the reality when we start, many little different things that we don't really do can bring us apart, miles apart. And then what do we have to do to come back together? Especially this is for married couples, is do those things that we haven't been doing. Eat intentionally together and spend quality time, or go out for a date, or spend cozy time together, opening your heart and just enjoying being together. And so quality time, depending if you're in a relationship, dating, is easier to make it happen because you want to be with each other. But in marriage, even more, this is an important part.
Yeah, and quality time doesn't come by chance. It just doesn't happen. It is intentional. You have to put that time in it. You need to be intention. You need to be very clear in communicating and make that happen every day. If you don't make it happen, it is going to, it's like
Everything else will take
yeah,
the time.
yeah. And another thing, this is of course if you're in marriage. If you're not married yet and you're in relationship, and if you are longing for that quality time and the other person does not have the time to spend with you, to give you that quality time, take it as a red flag. Don't think, oh, they are a great person, they are this, they are that. They can have all the good qualities, but that might not change after you get married. You need to be very, very careful with that because it's a huge red flag. It might be positive things, right? I have shared this before as well. It might be very good things. They might be giving Bible studies. They might be taking music lessons or teaching music lessons. They might be helping with soup kitchen, whatever it might be. But if they don't have time for you on a regular basis, it's a red flag. It can all be positive, but if there is no quality time, it's a red flag.
And quality time, we mean quality time, not just meeting every day and like high expectations to be all the time together,
yeah.
but having intentional, regular connection that can be every few days, once a week, whatever it is in a relationship, it should be intentional and planned. And in marriage, there's that daily connection that is needed, that weekly time apart, and that regularity that we have to schedule it, not to be like stiff, but to make time, because other things will completely take over all the time. So number 6 is protecting your nucleus by setting boundaries. So the nucleus is the relationship you're building together, and as you get married, it's your family, and it's that sacred togetherness that God created for family, and protecting it with boundaries in different ways. What type of boundaries?
Well, I would say the quality time first would come there because everything else will take time. And even for Debbie and I, we have a whole ton of work to do. And if you let us, we will work 24/7.
There's always work that needs to be done.
Yeah. So you need to set boundary. So you have that quality time as a family, as a couple. You have to set that quality time. And another boundary. Do you want me to share another boundary, or do you want to share another
Sure.
boundary?
I mean, I was going to say that also boundary with our own personal life, in relationship, and even in marriage, to give space either for our wellness, like if we can do it together, go and exercise together, but other things we might have different perspectives or times, and to give each other space for that, or sleep, or our wellness journey, or our time alone to be with God and with our own mind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are important as well.
Yeah. The other thing would be to not let other people come into your relationship or marriage. It's one of the biggest things. A lot of people would like to be involved personally and throughout. It's okay to have couple people that you see as mentors that are willing to work with and all of that. But having too many people involved in your relationship or marriage,
Giving advice
Giving
and
ad-
kind
yeah.
of hinting what you should do or what is not good, it's not healthy.
well, people that want to tell, they're not hinting, they will tell you,
Well,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you have to set boundaries there. And of course, you have to have spiritual counselors or coaches. But again, you have to set boundaries there as well. The counselors and coaches are not God. So you cannot just be codependent on them. You listen to them, you see, you get their wise counsel, but then again, you have to bring it to God and you have to bring it to each other and see what works and what doesn't work. You cannot just blindly take everything that the coach or the counselor is telling you. Then you're not setting boundary if you do it that way.
Well, these are very important signs and principles for healthy relationships. And there's many more, I'm sure, that we could talk about, but these are just some of the top 6 we thought have been important in our journey, and we've seen is so important for our relationship.
And if you see anything else that is important or priority in your marriage or in your relationship, feel free to put a comment. Tell us, what did you see as the priority in your life?
Yes.
That was not just these 6, but you see something else that you had to implement. Yeah.
Now we have something exciting that we want to share. Maybe you're like, what is the strength in my relationship? How is the quality of my relationship like? How can I gauge or get an idea where I'm at or what things maybe I need to grow?
Or you might not even know how your relationship is growing, and you are trying to figure it out and you don't know how to figure it out. We have a beautiful free resource for you. It is a 3-minute relationship strength quiz. You can find it on our website. It's free for everyone. You can just go put our website. We'll put it here right here. It's called naturalhealingproject.com, and then you just scroll down. You will be able to find, it says relationship strength quiz. It is for anyone that is committed, single, or in relationship. Feel free to go and check it out and do the quiz.
You will get a percentage of the strength of your relationship with the answers you give and some tips, advice, and suggestions to move forward in strengthening even more.